President, please be seated. The court is now in session. Today, the chamber continues to hear the remaining testimony of Eich Hoon via a video link. Ms. Chia Siu-Huang, please report the attendance of the parties and other individuals at today's proceedings. Gracias, Mr. President, for today's proceedings. All parties to this case are present. Mr. Nguyen Chi is present in the holding cell downstairs. He has waived his rights to be present in a courtroom. His waiver has been delivered to the greffier. The witness who is to continue his testimony, Mr. Eich Hoon, via a video link, is ready, and the AV unit informs the chamber that the link has been established. Thank you. President, thank you. The chamber now decides on the request by Nguyen Chi. The chamber has received a waiver from Nguyen Chi dated 8 May 2015, which notes that due to his health, that is headache, back pain, he cannot sit or concentrate for long, and in order to effectively participate in future hearings, he requests to waive his rights to participate in and be present at the 8 May 2015 hearing. He advises that his counsel advised him about the consequence of this waiver, that in no way it can be construed as a waiver of his rights to be tried fairly or to challenge evidence presented or admitted to this court at any time during this trial. Having seen the medical report of Nguyen Chi by the duty doctor for the accused at the ECCC, dated 8 May 2015, who notes that Nguyen Chi today has dizziness and severe back pain when he sits for long, and recommends that the chamber shall grant him his request so that he can follow the proceedings remotely from the holding cell downstairs. Based on the above information and pursuant to Rule 81.5 of the ECCC internal rules, the chamber grants Nguyen Chi his request to follow today's proceedings remotely from the holding cell downstairs via an audio and visual means. AV unit personnel are instructed to link the proceedings to the holding cell downstairs so that he can follow the proceedings remotely, and that applies for the whole day. President, good morning, Mr. Eich Hoon. Witness. Good morning, Mr. President. President, let us resume to our session to hear your testimony. Are you ready? Answer, yes, I am. Any fellow judges of the bench wishes to put questions to the witness? Yes, Judge Lavange, you have the floor.
Oui, merci, Monsieur.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, Mr. Eich Hoon. I have a few questions for you. First of all, can you tell us whether when you were working in Tramkak district, you witnessed or heard of visits conducted by Democratic Kampuchea regime leaders in the district, and in particular at labor, which appears to have been a model cooperative. Did you hear of any such visits conducted by the leaders?
No, I do not know about such a visit. And I myself was not in a leadership role within the district committee. I think such matter would be explained in details by Tachim.
Aviez-vous
Did you hear of an office referred to as Office 870? And if yes, do you know what it was meant for?
No, I do not know about Office 870. However, while I worked as a worker at Chup, and I picked a paper from a basket, and Tachim was working there, and on that paper there was an instruction to purge all the enemies within the cooperatives, and it was signed by Comrade King on behalf of Office 870 committee, and the date was in October. And later on there was a graduate of Tachim, and he also told me that the signature was King signature, that is Comrade King signature. But I did not know if the person or Comrade King was a member or staff of Office 870, or it could be just anonymous letter that I found in the basket.
cette lettre était sous la
Was that letter in the form of a telegram, or was it signed in the hand of Comrade Kim?
When I asked about the signature, and I was told that that was the King signature, but I did not know that person.
Et que contenait cette lettre?
And what were the contents of that letter? Were there any instructions in it?
I just told you the content of that letter.
Est-ce que vous pouvez le répéter pour que les choses soient bien claires?
Can you please repeat them in order for us to understand clearly, and also tell us whether those instructions were acted upon? Were the instructions implemented after that document was received?
The content of the letter that I found in the basket, actually I used it in order to roll my tobacco. It said that, "Comrade, you need to purge all the enemies urgently in the cooperatives and in the unions, as there were many enemies." signature King, Office 870 Committee, and the date was October. And that instruction was not acted upon because on the 12th of that month at lunchtime the Vietnamese troops arrived in Chup and we all fled.
Je ne suis pas sûr de très bien comprendre.
I am not sure I have properly understood what you are saying, because it appears that you are referring to the month of October. And if I look at the date on which you arrived in Chup, that was in October 1978. And now you are telling us that on the 12th of the same month, Vietnamese troops arrived at Chup. So are you referring to the 12th of October 1978? And is it your testimony that on that date Vietnamese troops arrived?
I saw the letter in October and I moved to Chup on the 8th of August 78, and then by October I saw that circular or letter, and in December, that is on the 31st of December 1978, at about 5:30 in the afternoon, the Vietnamese troops attacked Chup, and then we fled the office. That's all I can recall. But I know the day that we fled, that is on the 31st of December around 5:30 in the afternoon.
Bien, je vais aborder une autre question.
Very well. Let us deal with another topic. During your interview before the co-investigating judge's investigators, you referred to an incident. It is not perhaps very appropriate, but you talked of 90 Khmers who were allegedly executed. These were Khmers from Vietnam and who had been assigned to work at the Bok Tabek work site. The task of that work site was to dig a canal. You stated that you were informed that Tamok was angry against Pek Chim because Pek Chim ordered the execution of those 90 Khmers. Can you please provide more details regarding those executions and tell us when that happened, if at all that happened?
I cannot recall the exact date of the event. However, when the dam was being built, it was before the country was liberated, and that happened around 1974. At that time, all kinds of people from all walks of life were gathered to build that dam, including the Vietnamese and the Chinese. And Tamok brought the Vietnamese who were born in Cambodia into the exchange program for the Cambodians living in Vietnam, and then they were taken to dig the canal, and the forces were given to Ta Chim, but Ta Chim was annoyed as at night time those people engaged in various activities, including stealing. So then he ordered the execution of those 90 people. And later on, Tamok asked about the 90 people, and Tachim said they had been killed. And then Tamok was angry and asked for the reasons of the execution. And that's all I know around the event of the execution of those 90 people.
Selon ce que vous savez,
according to what you know and to the best of your knowledge, can you tell us whether Tachim could have decided alone to execute those people, or whether he needed the authorization of the upper echelon in order to do so?
He did not receive any instruction from the above. He made his own decision to kill those people, and that was the reason Tamok was mad at him. Because if people were killed without the approval or the knowledge of Tamok, then Tamok would get mad.
alors vous nous dites que Tamok...
Now, you tell us that Tamok was angry. Were any sanctions imposed on Tachim? Because it would appear that he did not comply with the instructions of the upper echelon.
No sanction was imposed, but he was angry with Tachim openly. But Tachim was not punished for that act.
J'aimerais également bien comprendre...
I would also like to properly understand the procedure whereby people considered as the enemy were executed. I have properly understood what you have told us. The communes were not empowered to decide the execution of persons considered as the enemy on their own. Did I understand you correctly?
Yes, that is correct, and that's what happened.
Alors, j'aimerais citer...
I would like to quote an answer you gave in document E319/8.2.4. It appears to be answer 134. Previously, you had referred to the Pre Mai Kun Kmeng execution site. That execution site is translated as the forest of child ghosts.
Et plus généralement, vous avez...
And you subsequently spoke generally of execution sites.
Vous avez dit ceci.
And this is what you stated. I am quoting in English because the document is only available in English.
Those killing sites. I think the communes must have killed new people in secret on their own. Alors, est-ce que
Now, do you recall making that statement? And if yes, what did you mean by that?
The communes did not kill the new people secretly. Anyone who had a conflict with the commune chief would be killed in secret. But this does not mean new people were to be killed by the commune. No, that was not the case. And only the district level had the authority to kill the people.
est-ce que je dois comprendre
Should I take it then that apart from the Premau Kutkemen execution site we referred to earlier, were there other execution sites in the commune? And were those execution sites secret? That is what we want to understand.
For the pre-Khmer Kong Khmer, that was a well-known open killing site, and it was far from the village. People were gathered and brought them to the authority at the district level, and then those people were killed by the district Angka. But I personally did not know whether those people were killed at the Pre-Khmer Kong Khmer. However, in the past, when children died, they would be taken to be buried at the Pre-Khmer Kong Khmer, and that area was previously known as Pre Long.
Bien, je vais simplifier peut-être ma question, monsieur. Est-ce que
I will perhaps simplify my question, sir. Apart from those execution sites, were there other places where the enemies or persons considered as enemies were executed?
No, because for all the conflicts, the resolution meant those people will be sent to the district, that is to Yekom. And if they were killed, then they would be killed in that area that is Pre-Khmer Kong Khmer. And to my knowledge, there was no secret killing site elsewhere.
Bien, alors, pour être sûr que j'ai vraiment bien compris.
Very well. To be sure that I have finally understood you clearly, can you tell us how certain commune chiefs could have proceeded to carry out executions without informing the district officials? How was that possible?
did not know anyone who was executed by the commune. Usually, bad people would be sent to the district, and that is after a thorough investigation by the commune. The commune would send a report to the district, and the district would send its soldiers to arrest that person, and the person would be brought before Yekom. But Yekom did not kill the person by herself, but she would instruct her soldiers to do the killing.
Est-ce que des gens qui habitaient
Did people who lived in the Tramkak district before the arrival of the new people act by way of reprisals against evacuees who had arrived in their villages? Did you hear of any acts of reprisals?
In fact, the old people were prohibited to call the people who came to the area as new people or 17 April people, and that was very strict policy. And if any bad person had a conflict or discriminated against a new person, then that old or bad person would be sanctioned, maybe to carry earth. And that we had to have a mutual respect for one another. And that's what I saw on the ground, and that's what happened. And people had good moral to one another. And if somebody violated that principle, the person would be sanctioned to carry earth during the daytime or under the hot sun.
Je vous remercie.
Thank you, witness. I have no further questions to put to you. President, the chamber will now give the floor to the two defense teams. First, to the Nunchia defense, so that the Nunchia Defense Council may put questions to witness Ai Hun. Good morning, Mr. President. Good morning, Your Honors. My name is Elisa Vanna. I'm one of the Nunchia's councils. Hello, Mr. Ai Hun. I am Nunchia's Defense Counsel, and I would like to put to you a certain number of questions. Yesterday, around 3:45 in the afternoon, you said that meetings were held in which instructions had been issued to build homes and to provide rice to the evacuees. So I would like to know the exact date when these meetings were held. Answer: no, I did not attend such meetings, so I did not know what was being discussed in those meetings, but I did see rice being given, the rice that had arrived from China. Question: so you said that the objectives had been set for the base to build homes and to find rice for the evacuees. So where did you get this information from? Answer: I did not say that, or not all of that. I was the village chiefs were simply asked to go greet the evacuees and to place them in homes that were already available, because the old people had gone outside to work, so there were available houses to welcome the new people. Question: based on what you said, E3, document E305, Khmer ERN 009689, in English 00050182, you answered to DCCAM that you would offload supplies and rice that was to be given to the Phnom Penh evacuees. You said there were two of you to offload these bags of rice, and that it was very difficult. Another question that was put to you: was the rice to be given to the evacuees? And you answered yes. Yesterday, at around 3:50 in the afternoon, you said that you were the person offloading these bags of rice as well as the supplies. And this happened in 1976. So I would like to ask you, what was the exact date when the Chinese aid stopped in 1976? Answer: in 1976, it was around November. So the Chinese aid was suspended. It was during the harvest. So when Cambodia had harvested the rice paddies, China stopped providing aid. Question: thank you. In Tram Kok district, in which year and in which month did common eating start? Answer: I don't understand your question clearly. Question: in which year and in which month was the common eating hall set up? Answer: in 1973. This already happened in the villages. And in 1974, this started happening at the commune level. So there were two common eating halls. Back then, it was a bit difficult to implement because some people who would return from work would not have enough food. So this led to fights between the cooks and the workers on work sites. So Tamok came to the cooperatives to ask why people would eat in the common dining halls, and some answered, well, you are the one who told us to do that. You are the one who issued that instruction. And then more and more people came to eat in the cooperatives, and the rice soup was really thin because there were more people than before. And after about 3 weeks, I had to go pick leaves to add something to my meal. Question. What question is going to center on the period from 1975 to 1979. So during that period in Tram Kok, would people eat in the common dining halls? Answer. We started eating in the common eateries in 1973, and in each village there was a kitchen and a common eatery. Question. Do you know in which year common meals stopped? Answer. In 1979. And then I fled to the Dangrek Mountains. And in 1987, Son Sen asked me to continue eating in the common eatery until the year 2000. Question. When you would offload supplies and rice at the Tram Kok district office, did you ever hear about instructions asking people to improve the living conditions of the population? Answer, I never heard anything of that kind. What I would only do would be to receive supplies and food and then to distribute all of that during the day if the supplies arrived during the day, or at night if the supplies arrived at night. And Tamok would criticize people when people would not distribute the rice properly. So one day he asked me, why didn't you distribute the supplies and the medicine? And I said, yes, I did it. And then he went to see a member of a commune at a warehouse where medicine was stored. Or rather, I went there and myself, and he answered, yes, indeed. Tamok asked me not to distribute the medicine. President, please speak more slowly because you're speaking too fast. And please stop for a little while between the questions and the answers, because you're being interpreted into French and into English, and therefore it is difficult for the interpreters to catch all of the information in English and in French. So, Council, please also slow down or mark some kind of interruption so what is said can be completely translated. Thank you, Mr. President, says the Council. I will continue. Did you ever see cooperatives producing in excess and other cooperatives that did not produce enough? And was there any kind of sharing system between the cooperatives? Answer, yes. The communes would organize this kind of sharing so that supplies could be distributed in the eateries But the problem occurred when the cooks would steal rice or food. So instead of therefore giving a sufficient amount of food to everyone, they would keep food for themselves. So we watched over these people because all of the communes would receive the same share and of food, and we discovered that cooks had stolen food supplies, so they were dismissed. Question: when you were at the Commerce Office of the district, did you receive any reports stating that food supplies were missing? Answer: yes. Many communes did not have enough food, and even in Les Baux, 100 people died of hunger. And certain communes had to ask other communes to solve these food shortage issues. Question: so this means that cadres at each level tried to solve these food shortage problems? Answer: yes, because each time that we would receive food supplies, the food supplies were distributed in the same way, but the problem was that the cooks would sometimes steal food for themselves. Question: so when you were at the district office, you went to Kompong Cham in October 1978. So where were you living at Tram Kok at that time? I was born in Tram Kok, Takeo province. In 1978, I was at the district office, and Mr. Chun arrested someone. And I was lying on my bed when that happened. He injured me. He shed a lot of light on my face. I asked him, this blinded me, I asked him not to do that again. I asked him to stop doing this, and he continued pestering me. I saw Chia, and Chia came with me and asked me why or how was it that I had arrived at Koh Andate. We shook hands. He said to me that there were 3 people, and I said, well, the 3 people were on trucks. Tachim was an office chief, and so he took the 3 people who were then sent to the re-education center. Question: when people were ill, were they allowed to take off from work? Answer: when people were ill, they were sent to the hospital, and the unit chief would send them to the hospital without this requiring any kind of authorization. The question: now with regard to pregnant women, what were the tasks that were given to them? Answer: there were midwives back then. After the 10th month of pregnancy, they could stay home. The pregnant woman could stay home, and they could deliver normally. Question: how long could these women rest after delivering? 1 month. Answer: my wife was also given a month. And after the 1 month maternity leave, then she went to dig up dirt like everyone else. Question: yesterday at around 4 o'clock and 2 minutes, you said that with regard to marriages, if both parties did not agree to the marriage, the women would be sent to a cemetery so that they would become afraid, and they would then ask the groom to come console her for them to get back together. Question: but even after that, they still didn't manage to get along. What had to be done? Answer: well, we were kind and docile, and of course we cannot force the girls. And if the girls did not agree, we could not force them. Certain women, in fact, would scratch the men, the grooms. So the cadres would then ask the couples to no longer stay together. So question: so this means that there were no threats. And there was no coercion. Answer: yes. Question: you said yesterday that monks would go work with lay people, and that they defrocked one after the other. Yesterday you said that some monks would take part in the building, or took place in the building of the Trabek Dam in 1974. So I would like to ask you if monks started defrocking in 1974 then. Answer: yes. It was in 1974 that Anka asked us to build dams and to dig canals. So therefore, indeed, monks defrocked to come work with the local population, and other monks even went to the battlefront. In 1976, a member of Tamok's family did not want to defrock, and he went to the forest to stick to his faith, and Tamok still tried to prevent him from doing so, and in 1976 he managed to make him defrock, and Tamok married him to a girl, and he refused to consummate, and then he was appointed to the logistics committee. Question: in 1976, he was therefore forced to the frock, or answer? No, no. In fact, it wasn't something compulsory. He did not force him to do that. It's since nobody could make offerings, he was obliged to the frock. Question. So you spoke about Soon, who was part of the Ko Andai District Committee, and you kicked him apparently, and he wanted to kill you following that. So I would like therefore to ask a few questions to you regarding that. This is at document 305/13.23.451. Khmer ERN 00968893. English ERN 00050186 to 87. And you said when the person was taken away, we went to see the district chief to ask permission to kill him. And in the same document, 009688 105 Khmer, English 00050186 94. Correction, 0194. Soon wanted to kill me. He asked for permission to do that, but that authorization was not given. So that morning, my messenger came to tell me that you had kicked the Ko Andai district chief, and thus I went to see Takut to tell him that Sun from Ko Andet wanted to kill me, and he told me, why did Sun go there without my permission? And then he sent someone to have Sun come, and Sun well, Mr. President, the interpreter cannot follow, says the council. Council, please put brief questions to the witness, because the interpreter has a hard time following you. Deputy Co-Prosecutor, please proceed. Mr. President, could you please give us the ERNs in the 3 languages, if possible? I know that the lawyer is new to us here, but there is a French ERN, and I really cannot find the excerpts that are read out, especially since they're read out so fast that I have the impression that the interpreter is only translating half of what you are saying. So for me, in any case, in French, I can absolutely not find the segment in question. So if you have the French ERN, please provide it to us. This would be very helpful. If not, may be useful to go a bit slower so that we could locate the segments in question. Thank you. Counsel, thank you. I apologize for this. I did not find the French ERN, it's true. I, in fact, only found the English and Khmer ERNs. So, but following this, I'll have no longer any passages to quote. So, let me get back to the text. Soon, you threatened people, and you wanted to have people killed. This is someone you cannot kill. Otherwise, you would have had him eliminated. In another document, E 319. Point 31. Dot at answer 58. You said when Sun became the district chief of Ko Andait, he arrested 3 former district chiefs at Ko Andait and had them executed. So I would like to ask you if the district committee had the right or the mandate to arrest and bring people away to kill them. Answer, yes.
Counsel, my next question is in reference to document E319.1.31. At question answer 29, you make a statement before the co-investigating judge that Mok had a relationship with the deputy Chiel, a third deputy during the Sangkum Rihniyum era, but the Com took that deputy Chiel to be killed. And yesterday you said that Mok spoke about Chiel in the 3 meetings, and that Chiel was a woman and was not a spy nor an enemy, and why she was taken and killed. So my question to you is to ask for a clarification why Tamok placed emphasis on the death of this deputy Chiel. Allow me to rephrase my question. Why Tamok said that the deputy Chiel was not a spy nor an enemy, and why she was taken away and killed? Answer. Indeed, Tamok always tries to get the reason for the killing of any individual. And in that instance, the person was a friend, counsel. Thus it means the killing of a child was done by Ye Khom, who was the District 105 committee. Is that correct? Answer: yes, that is correct. Because the district committee made their own decision in this killing. Question: on the issue of killing the 90 people who were part of the exchange program from Vietnam, was Tamok aware of the execution, or was he informed only after the killing had taken place? Answer: no, he was not informed or reported, and only when he went to inspect the work site and he asked Tachim about the 90 people. Tachim was a bit hesitated, then said that because those people involved in stealing things, and that he decided to have them all executed, and upon that Tamok became angry. Question: does it mean that the decision to execute those people was made solely by Tachim, who was the district secretary, and it was not a policy from the upper echelon, that is Tamok? Answer: yes, that is correct. Question: my next question is in reference to document E319.1.32 at question answer 63. My apology, actually I already asked this question and I move on. Let me move to another document, that is E319/1.1.31. At question answer 24. You stated before the co-investigating judge that, and let me quote, answer 24, right, the code number rather the report was made to the district, and then the district would circle the names in red ink and forward it to a commune. And later on, the people were killed, were arrested and sent to Ye Khom at the district level. My question to you is the following. And as you stated, for those people whose names circle in red were arrested and sent to Ye Khom, and how did you know about the circle in blue or in red? That happened throughout the communes and the district. If the person with his name circled in red ink, the person will be arrested and killed. And if another person with a name circled in blue, the person will be arrested and sent to the district, and the district will send to the re-education office. And this kind of practice was observed on the ground, and I myself observed the process. Questioned, Was there a meeting where such instruction on the circling of names in red or blue inks was disseminated? Answer: from what I observe, the arrest was done according to the code color of the ink, blue or red. Answer: in the same document, you were asked about the role of Jikom, and you said that he was a member of the province of Sector 13, and that her office was about 200 meters from the killing site known as Prey Khmao Kon Khmeng. And a while ago, you said people were arrested and sent to Yekom. And in your OCIJ statement, you said that Yekom was a member of Sector 13. Can you tell the court whether the arrest order was initiated by Yekom or by someone else? Answer: the plan from the above was clearly laid out. That is, all the capitalists, feudalists, reactionaries had to be purged. And then the decision would rest on the Yekom to implement that order. Many people had been arrested, including middle class capitalists and former soldiers or public servants. Question: so you said capitalists, feudalists or former officers were arrested under the reign of Yekom. Did such arrests continue after Yekom's era? Answer: such event took place as early as 1970, that is after the coup d'etat to topple CNO. And the Khmer Rouge people came out from the forest to strengthen and reinforce their administrative structure in various communes, in Chiang Tok, in Trapeng Thum Tabong, in Sam Rao, in Kuh, and in Nha Nhong. So the Khmer Rouge came to these 8 communes to organize their administrative structure, and in the evening people would be arrested. That is, those who fell into the class of capitalists or feudalists, or anyone who owned a rice mill or rice threshing machine, they would be arrested. And even someone who had a band with rice stock would also be arrested, as they were accused of being a middle-class capitalist. So everybody was so afraid of being arrested at that time. Council intervenes. Allow me to clarify one matter. Your response was in relation to the arrest prior to 1975. Am I correct? Witness, please repeat your question. Counsel, my question is the following. In fact, previously I asked you whether the arrests were follow the orders of Yekom, and after Yekom were there other arrests, and you said that the arrest actually started since 1970, that is after the coup d'etat, and that the Khmer Rouge reinforced their administrative structure in the area. And my question to you is the following. That is, the arrest following the red ink circle, and then those people were sent to Yekom. did it happen before or after 1975? Answer, it happened around 1975 and 76. And from March 1976, Jews were arrested, and by August 76, then the arrests stopped because those people had already been arrested, and we were kind of living independently. Questioned, after the COM stopped or was no longer the District 105 committee, no further arrest was made. Am I correct? In 1976, Ta Chai purged the Jews in District 105, and that purge plan was initiated by Ta Chai. However, later on, no more arrest or killing took place. Commune chiefs were called to a meeting at the district, and I overheard what they said during the meeting as I served them refreshment. They spoke about the plan to arrest the Jews and to send the Jews back to Vietnam. And Ta Chai said that there were no longer any Jews because all the people now, or they were all pure Cambodians. Council, thank you. Now I move on to another question. Since you have known the COM, and in your statement, the COM also wanted to kill you. Can you then tell the court can you describe the COM? Answer, GCOM would not be comfortable without killing anyone. She would not sit still until someone was killed. And she really hated those kinds of people as I described, that is the capitalists, feudalists, and the reactionaries. Council, in the transcript on the 5th May 2015, when Cambodia testified, at 10 o'clock, 6 minutes and 51 seconds, Boon said COM was different from us. She was kind of a psychiatric or crazy, but it was on and off. And that's how I know her. In addition, in the statement of Pichum, who testified on the 24th April 2015, at 13 hours, 54 minutes and 59 seconds, he states that at that time we try our best to find a treating physician, and then we could find a Vietnamese physician for the treatment of her psychiatric symptom. She had a mental problem. However, she was very strict, and she would mean what she said. And that was the time that she fell ill. And my question to you, do you agree to the statements by Ye Bươn and Chim on the issue that Khom had a psychiatric problem? Answer, no, I don't agree. She was not crazy or psychiatric. She was normal, and every day she would go and arrest people. And because these two individuals were subordinates to Ye Khom, that's why they supported her. President, thank you, Council. It is now appropriate for a short break. We take a break now and return at 10:35. Mr. Ai Hyun, we rest a little bit. And please return to the room at 10:35. Witness, thank you. President, the court is now in recess.